What's up, everybody? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron. It is laundry day, so we are rocking the faded Vans shirt. But that's okay, because today we're checking out the new album, Living Choas, by the band Oceano. This is a 6th studio album from the Illinois-based deathcore band. They formed in 2006, and they don't have any original members since 2009 when their lead guitarist Jeremy Carroll left the band, and they've had 20 past members. That's more than one a year, or almost 4 members every new album. And there's only 4 people in this band, so it's basically every new album they replace every single member in the band. I am a huge fan, though, of vocalist Adam Warren and his vocal covers that he does on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that. And he's also been with the band the longest, since about 2007 or so. And out of all of their records, Ascendance is the only one that I found myself able to really enjoy all the way through. The others have good songs, but as a whole, I just end up getting bored and I want to listen to something else, so I put something else on, and it's just, I can't make it. I was prepared for the last album, Revelations, which came out 7 years ago, by the way, to blow me away. I was hoping it would continue all the stuff that I loved on Ascendance, but again, halfway through, I found myself facing the same issues. I am hoping for this new album to be different. It features Matt Konowski, who was the drummer for the band between 2017 and 2022. He was also the drummer for Shadow of Intent, and he is currently the drummer for My Children, My Bride, and also Impending Doom. So I'm expecting some really, really cool drumming stuff going on throughout this album. The first single they released for this album was Mass Produced. It gets straight to the point with very sporadic sounding drums, nasty vocals, and the groove in the verse matches up with the vocals beautifully. The chorusy section is really big with passionate vocals, and the clean post-chorus sounded great. I really enjoy this. In fact, this was one of the very first Oceano singles that I found myself enjoying right out of the gate. My neighbor is now playing very loud acoustic music, and I hope that it doesn't come in over the mic that much. And more importantly, I hope it isn't too big of a distraction for me, but we're going to continue because that's life. They then released the single Wounds Never Heal. The technical intro is sick, as is... They then released the single Wounds Never Healed. The technical intro is pretty sick, and the vocals and drums make for a very powerful entrance. I like the harmony hanging out in the background of the verse, but I felt like the riff got lost in the production, as do the vocals. And while the riff does have its breakthrough moment about halfway through the song, I felt like it would have been pretty sick if they brought the vocals up along with it out of the mix, just to give it a little bit more power. The dark technical-y bridge / breakdown is pretty great, and I really dig this track. It works even better within the album as a whole. And the same kind of synth can be found on the opening track, Wasted Life. The blast beats go very, very hard in the verse, but it gets pretty atmospheric in the chorus thanks to the harmonies. Unfortunately, again, I felt like the vocals just didn't cut through the mix, especially in the breakdown when it gets drowned out by all of the music. Some people might like it because it kind of blends in well, especially with the clean vocals hanging out in the background, but I want the distorted vocals to be in my face just as much as all of the music is, especially in a breakdown. Then we have the song Darkness Rising, which does feed this desire a little bit more, but rhythmically, it reminds me of the song Wasted Life. Mainly in the drums, the snarling vocals are great, and they sound really good. They make for a nice variety, but they're very fleeting. The atmosphere is very heavy, but it reminds me a little bit of Thy Art Is Murder's song Reign of Darkness. It's just missing the big moments that Thy Art is able to pull off. The outro is definitely a really cool part of this song, but like I said, it just makes me want to go and listen to something else. In this case, I had to put on Reign of Darkness after I listened to this song, just so I could get a little bit more of what I wanted. Into the Flames has some pleasant gentiness to it. The guitar sounds great, and the lead melody is very unique. I love the chorus and just how chaotic it is, especially when it transitions into the slow breakdown. But again, it just feels so flat. It's not as dynamic as I feel like the music could be. Again, not sure if it's the mix thing or if they're just not playing it up as they could. There's a 2.5 minute long interlude that comes next that is titled Interlude. It's just a glimmery guitar. It's a little echoey. I was expecting more, but it's just 2.5 minutes of just that. And then we move on to the third single that they dropped, The Price of Pain, which is probably the best song on this album. The bass lick in the intro is a really nice touch, as is the different vocal varieties that they go through in the verse that they just kind of keep doing, which is it's something that we needed throughout this, something to help kind of break up the monotony of the vocals not really cutting through the mix. And the breakdown has some gentleness to it once again. It kind of reminds me of a Fit for Autopsy song, which I absolutely love. This is basically everything I could possibly want from this band. This is what I want them to do. Of course, I don't want them to release the same song every single time, but they can bring this kind of energy, the vocal varieties. I mean, Adam is such a great vocalist, and I feel like he just isn't being used to the best of his abilities. They kind of keep that momentum going in the next song, which is the title track, Living Chaos. The aggression is great, especially in the drums as they steal the show. The breakdown is great as well. It just needs a little bit more vocal presence again. And then that takes us to the closing track, Broken Curse. It brings back the same kind of guitar that was heard in the interlude. It's just a little bit different, but once we get to the verse, the guitar riff is just so slow and so nasty. It sounds so good. It reminds me of like an old school death metal thing. It's great. However, I don't feel like this song really picks up until 4 minutes in. You're kind of waiting for it to reach a peak or a climax. It just never really gets there. I gotta start out by saying I did not hate this album. I don't even dislike it. I just feel like it's kind of meh. And that's how I feel about mostly all of Oceano's albums. They got a decent climax out of the song, The Price of Pain, but it's just too much in the middle of songs that fail to bring up the heat or keep it going. They don't build up into it. Nothing like that. All the songs are just kind of flat. And like I complained about on most of the tracks, the mix might have been at fault for this. Adam's vocals didn't really cut through at all, especially during big sections, and it made them feel weaker than they could have been. At times, when the music gets really exciting, there's not like an increase in volume. There's not an increase in intensity or any of that. And for deathcore, I feel like you need that punch. For death metal, it's different. You can kind of keep that going. But deathcore, when you bring in a breakdown and you want something to be in your face, you gotta have something cut through the mix instead of nothing cutting through the mix. Everything is just so mid in terms of quality of the mix and in terms of just how exciting it is. So with all that said, I gotta give Living Chaos by Oceano a 6.2 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. I can't be the only person who struggles with this band. So leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Living Chaos. Let me know what you would rate it and what your favorite song is. And also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. It helps out so much with YouTube's algorithm. It will keep my videos popping up in your recommended section if you don't want to miss out any more of my videos. And also, if you want to increase your chances of seeing more of me and you want to help support me further than that, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. That way you get notifications. And I just want to thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me talk about music. I hope that the music in the background wasn't too distracting. I feel like I was able to power through just fine. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night whenever you have me watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time.